Hey you guys, my name is Brittany Bryden. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Today's practice is an awesome one to do first thing in the morning to give you some energy, get you moving before you go into the rest of your day. So that being said, we're going to get started right away. Come to the top of the mat, separate your feet about hip distance apart, and just take a moment to land. So just ground your feet, rest one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, close the eyes. And as you settle in, notice how you showed up this morning. What kind of energy you're currently carrying. You're witnessing that, not judging it, just becoming aware. Feel the breath moving in and out of the nose. Staying connected with that breath. Gently open the eyes. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. You're going to take your right hand down beside your right thigh. Lean over to the right and take your hips over to the left. And then come back to center. Reach both arms up. Left hand comes down beside your left thigh. Right arm's reaching up. And then lean over to the left as your hips go to the right. And then come back to center. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. So you're going to cactus the arms, so bend the elbows, fingers face up, lift the gaze and lift the chest. And then you're going to bring your hands down beside your thighs, and as you do that, you're going to start to roll down. So start with the head, roll down through the shoulders, move through the whole spine until you fold into the legs. Bending the knees as much as you need here. Fingertips come to the shins, you're going to lift up halfway, lengthen, and then fold down into the legs. Keep the knees bent, slowly roll up to stand. And as you come to the top, reach both arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to do that again. So your right hand's going to fall beside your right thigh. Lean over to the right. Take your hips to the left. Come back to center. Both arms reach up. Left hand down. Lean over to the left. Take your hips to the right. Come back to center. Both arms up. Cactus the arms, so bend the elbows. Lift the gaze. Lift the chest. Maybe lean back slightly. Bring your hands down beside the thighs. Roll down nice and slow. Fingertips come to the shins, lift up halfway. And then fold down into the legs. Keep the knees bent, slowly roll up to stand. And we'll do one more round like that, so both arms reach up. Right hand drops down beside the right thigh. Lean to the right, hips go to the left. Come back to center, both arms up. Left hand down, so lean over to the left, take your hips to the right. Come back to center, arms reach up. Cactus the arms, bend the elbows, lift the chest, engage the glutes, lean back slightly. Bring the hands down and then slowly roll down the spine. Fingertips of the shins come up halfway. Set the hands down and step back into downward dog. So as you come into your first down dog, just play around with it, however it feels this morning. Rooting down through the fingers. Your spine is your priority here, so you have to bend those knees as much as you need here to create a little bit more space there. And then you're going to slowly roll forwards, coming into plank. So shoulders track right over top of the wrists. You might have to walk your feet back slightly, engaging through the inner thighs, the glutes. Feel that core wrapping towards the midline, broaden through the shoulder blades. And then whether the knees are up or down, you're going to bend the elbows and lower all the way down onto the floor. Untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet on the floor and then walk your hands back slightly. Wrap the elbows into the midline, lift the chest forwards and up for baby cobra, and then lower the chest down. Tuck the toes under, keep the knees on the ground, press yourself through table, and then come into downward dog. Lift your heels up, bend the knees, step forwards, coming to the top of the mat. So your feet can either be hip distance apart or together. Fingertips of the shins lift up halfway, and then fold into the legs. Coming to stand, both arms sweep up. Hands come together, heart prayer. Both arms reach up. Fold forwards in towards the legs. Take a halfway lift. Hands down, step back, downward dog. Roll forwards, make your way into plank. So you might have to walk the feet back a bit, find the shape. Whether the knees are up or down, slowly lower all the way down onto the floor. Untuck the toes, elbows wrap in. Press the tops of feet on the floor, baby cobra, draw the chest forwards and up. And then lower down. Tuck the toes under, table or full plank. Downward dog. Heels lift, bend the knees. Walking forwards, coming to the top of the mat. Halfway lift to lengthen. Fold into the legs. Coming to stand, arms reach up. Hands come together, heart prayer. Arms sweep up. Fold forwards into the legs. Halfway lift to lengthen. Hands down, step back, downward dog. Draw forwards, make your way into plank. Take your time, lower all the way down onto the floor. Untuck the toes, elbows in, baby cobra, chest forwards and up. If it is in your practice, you can root the feet in the ground, lift yourself all the way up into your up dog, engaging through the glutes, the inner thighs, lift the chest through the gate of the shoulders. And we will all meet in downward dog, however you'd like to get there. Walk your big toes to touch. Lift the heels up nice and high without bringing your shoulders forwards. Send the hips back a little bit more and take your right leg up towards the ceiling. So your toes are going to face the ground. Now bend your left knee, send your hips back and see if you can get your chest closer towards the left thigh. Now you're going to roll forwards, bring your knee towards your nose. So your shoulder's going to come either over top of the wrist or maybe the fingers. Protract through your shoulder blades. And then take your right leg back up, bend the standing leg, chest towards the thigh. You do that 2 more times. Roll forwards, bring your knee in towards your nose. And then right leg back up, bend the standing leg. 1 more time. Come forwards, knee to nose. And then step down beside your right thumb. Set your left knee down onto the ground so you can pat up that knee if you need here. Bring your hands on top of your right thigh and just start to lift your chest up. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling, coming into a low lunge. Bring the palm of the hands together and lift the gaze. Taking a few breaths here, really rooting down through that right heel. You can also envision like you're trying to pull that right heel towards your back knee. So there's a little bit more engagement there. Set your hands down onto the ground. Shift your hips back for a half split. So draw the right toes back towards the face, bending that right knee as much as you need here. And we'll float between the two. So walk your hands forwards, bend in the front leg, sweep your arms forwards and up. And then set the hands down, half split, hips go back. 1 more time, bend in the front leg, low lunge, reach your arms forwards and up. And then set the hands down, half split. Now you're gonna walk your hands forwards, bend into the front leg, tuck your left toes under and pick up your back knee. So you're in an easy twist, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, open up the chest to the right. Ground your left hand, start to come onto the outer edge of your left foot, and just stack your feet now for a side plank. If you'd like to make it more supportive, you can come down onto your left knee, engaging through the inner thighs. Try to bring your right pinky toe back towards the face. Use the glutes here. Find stabilization through that bottom arm. Take 1 more breath. And then as you move through center, you're gonna come down onto your right forearm, followed by the left forearm, forearm plank. So try not to hike the hips up here. Slight posterior tilt with the pelvis. Wrapping in towards the midline with that core. 1 more breath. And then staying on the forearms, just set your knees down, untuck the toes. Sphinx, lift your chest through the gate of the shoulders, lift the gaze, and then lower down. Hands beside the lower rib cage, tuck your toes under. Table or full plank. Downward dog. Coming to the second side, so bring your big toes to touch. Lift the heels up first. Send the hips back, and then take your left leg to the ceiling. So your left toes are still facing the floor. Try not to open up the hip to the left. Bend your right knee and get your chest towards that right thigh. So it's like a springboard for you. You're gonna roll forwards, bring that left knee to your nose, protract through the shoulder blades. Find that flexion through your left hip, and then left leg back up, bend the standing leg. 2 more like that. Drop forwards, bring your knee into your nose, And then take your left leg back up. One more time, come forwards, knee to nose. And then softly step down beside your left thumb. Back knee comes to the floor, low lunge, bring your arms forwards and up. Palm of the hands together, lift the gaze. And then you're gonna set your hands down as you shift your hips back for a half split. Couple more as you float between the two postures. Bend in the front leg, low lunge, sweep your arms forwards and up. And set the hands down, half split. And then one more time, bend in the front leg, low lunge. Hands come down, half split. Walk your hands forwards, bending into the front leg, put power in your right leg, so pick up that knee. Easy twist, reach that left arm up towards the ceiling, open the chest to the left. Rooting down to that bottom arm, start to come onto the outer edge of your right foot, side plank. So again, you can set that right knee to the floor. And notice if you're really rotating the hips towards the ceiling. Can you square your hips off to the side? And I like to envision like my left pinky toe is coming back towards my face. Take one more breath here. And then as you move through center, come down onto your left forearm, followed by the right forearm. Take your breath. And then lower down onto your stomach. Untuck the toes, Sphinx pose. Lift the chest forwards and up. And then lower down. Hands beside your lower rib cage. Tuck the toes under. Come into table. And as you set up into table, I just want you to move through a couple cat-cows, whatever that looks like for you here. So it can be the traditional form of it. It can be something totally different. You're just moving and connecting with your breath. Shifting out of the head space. And connecting more to your body. What's going on in there? One more round. And take a moment in child's pose. If that's not comfortable for you, you can just sit on the heels. So in child's pose, the knees can be wider and the knees can be closer together. Just bring the forehead to the floor. Find your breath. Notice if your mind is chaotic with thought or if it's calm. This time is still yours. Take a breath in. Clear it out. And make your way into downward dog. Lift the heels up, bending the knees, hop or step, come to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift, and then fold into your legs. You're going to come to stand and reach both arms up towards the ceiling, and then bring your hands together in prayer. So you're going to bring your right foot just towards center, and then bring your left leg in towards your chest. So just interlace your hands below the knee, and yes, I'm getting you to do a little balance work first thing in the morning. So right away, focus on a spot. Steady your gaze on that spot, something that's not moving. And then reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Keep lifting out of that standing leg. And don't hold your breath here. You're going to open the knee out to the left side and set yourself up for tree. So you can place your foot above the knee, below the knee, wherever feels good here. Lift out of that right leg still. And just make sure you're not just completely pushing into that right leg and sinking into the hip. So get that feedback between the standing leg and the foot. Connect to your breath. Any arms that you prefer here for your tree. And can you calm down the thoughts, calm down the mind. Come right here to the present. Bring your knee towards center. Just lift the thigh up as high as it can go. And then nice and slow, you're going to take a big step back with your left leg, and we'll land in warrior two. Arms come out to the side, rooting down through the outer edge of your left foot, bending into that right leg. Reverse your warrior. Right arm's going to reach up and over. Left hand's just gently resting on that left leg. And then come back into your warrior 2. Open up towards the left side. So your heels are going to come to center. Turn your feet out. Bend the knees, drop the hips, and just take your forearms to the inside of the thighs and just rock a little side to side. Bring yourself to center. Legs are going to stay as they are, but I want you to take your left hand to the inside of your left thigh. Your left shoulder is going to come forwards as you draw the right shoulder back, and you're actively pressing that left knee open. And then come back to center. Change sides. So right hand to the inside of the right thigh. Right shoulder comes forwards, left shoulder draws back. And then come back to center. Hands come to the floor, lift the hips up, feet come parallel. A wide-legged ragdoll, so you're going to fold into yourself here. So you can make it more passive by bending the knees a lot, letting the head fall. You can make it more active by lifting up to the inner thighs. Maybe there's a different shape or variation you prefer. You have a couple more breaths. Come onto your fingertips and you're going to lengthen your spine. Feet are going to stay the same, but put a generous bend into your right leg. And then walk your hands towards your left foot. So if you can grab hold of the foot or the ankle, do that. Keep bending into the right leg. And then you're going to walk your hands through center, pivot to face the front. So your hands are going to frame your right foot, turn on the ball of your left foot, and then set your left knee down to the floor. So this will all look familiar. Bring your arms forwards and up. Low lunge. Hands come together, lift the gaze. Half split. So you can either use your hands or not this time as you reach the arms back. And then bend in the front leg. Low lunge. Bring your arms forwards and up. And then half split. Shift the hips back. One more time. Bend in the front leg. Arms reach up. And then half split. We'll meet an easy twist. So set the hands down, bend in the front leg, pick up your back knee. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, open the chest to the right. Come onto the outer edge of your left foot. Side plank, or maybe you want to come into a side tree. Stabilizing that bottom arm. Support yourself with that left leg, the left glute. And then come down into forearm plank. So step that right foot back. Come onto your right forearm, followed by the left forearm. One more breath here. And then untuck the toes, lower the knees down, Sphinx pose, lift your chest forwards and up. Open up to the diaphragm, the belly, and then lower. Hands beside the lower rib cage, tuck the toes under, table or full plank, downward dog. Last side, heels lift, bend your knees, hop or step, top of the mat. Take a halfway lift, fold into the legs. Coming to stand, both arms sweep up. Hands come together, heart prayer. All right, right leg to your chest. Start with both hands interlacing below the knee. Find your balance here. Lifting out of that left leg. Right hand stays where it is. Just reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. And open the knee out to the right side, setting up for your tree. So placing that right foot somewhere on the standing leg. Arms or whatever you need them to be here. Just find some grounding. Rooting through that left foot. Meeting with your hands in prayer, bring your right knee to center, lift the thigh up. And then take a big step back, landing in warrior 2. Reverse your warrior, left arm up and over. And coming back into warrior 2. Heels come into center, turn the feet out, bend the knees, drop the hips down. Elbows or forearms to the inside of the thighs. Rock a little side to side. Bring the hips to center. Take your left shoulder forwards, draw the right shoulder back. And then come back to center, switch. Take your right shoulder forwards, left shoulder back. And then bring yourself to center. Wide-legged forward folds. So bring the feet parallel, fold into the legs. You have a few breaths here. Maybe you like to invert in your tripod, and that's in your practice. If you did come up, take your time, lower down. Grounding to the feet, come on your fingertips. Feet stay the same, you're bending into the left leg. Walk your hands towards your right foot or ankle. And then walk your hands through center until you pivot now to face the front. So hands frame your left foot, turn on the ball of your right foot. Set the right knee down, low lunge, sweep your arms forwards and up, lift the gaze. Half split, hips go back. Draw the left toes to your face, reach the arms back. And then bend to the front leg, arms come forwards and up. And then half split, hips shift back. One more time, low lunge. Half split. Easy twist, so bend to the front leg, start with both hands to the floor. Pick up your back knee and then sweep your left arm up towards the ceiling. Stabilize in that bottom arm and make your way into your side plank of choice, whether it's stacking your feet, lowering the bottom knee, or maybe it's your side tree. If you do have that leg up, send the left leg back. We are all going to come down into forearm plank, your last one. So lower your left forearm down, followed by your right. And then lower all the way down onto the floor. Lift your chest forwards and up. And then lower to the ground. Hips go back, child's pose. Close the eyes. Come into stillness. How do you feel right here, right now? And slowly roll up the spine. Sitting on the heels, lift the chest up. Okay, so you're gonna swing your legs forwards, come down onto your bums. Now, you can either have your legs straight out in front of you, or you can have your knees bent and feet on the ground. That's totally your choice. You're gonna reach your arms forwards, and I want you to envision like you're holding something in between your hands, like a yoga block or a ball or something like that. You're gonna start to do a nice C-shaped spine as you roll down. So take your time, you're gonna roll down to the floor. And when you do arrive on your back, you're gonna reach your arms up and over. And then from here, take the arms back up towards the ceiling, reach your arms forwards, and then you're gonna roll back up. So you're gonna lift the head, lift the chest, the shoulders, come all the way up. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. And we'll do that a few more times. So again, it's up to you what your legs are doing. Reach your arms forwards and then slowly roll down. And when you come down onto your backs, reach your arms up and over. And then bring the arms forwards, lift the head, lift the chest, roll all the way back up. And when you come up, arms up towards the ceiling. Arms reach forward, C-spine all the way down. Arms come up and over. Arms reach forwards, lift the head, lift the chest, come all the way up. Last one, arms reach forwards, nice and slow, roll down. And then when you do come down, bring your knees in towards your chest. Rock a little side to side. Set your left foot down on the ground. Right foot on top of the left thigh. Figure four, so open the knee out to the side. You can stay in the shape, or you can take your left foot off the ground and interlace the hands behind the hamstring or the shin. Staying heavy through the low back. Maybe closing the eyes here as we start to slow down the pace. Set both feet down on the ground. Sliding your hips over to the right, recline twist, let your knees fall to the left. So you can either bring your knees closer together, you can separate them a bit. Maybe you prefer to cross one thigh over top of the other. Right arm reaches out to the right side. Close the eyes. Just coming back to your breath. And bring your knees through center. Figure 4 on the other side, left foot on top of the right thigh. Drawing that right leg in towards you, interlacing the hands behind the hamstring or shin. Set your feet down on the ground. Sliding your hips over to the left, knees fall to the right, recline twist. Come back to center. And then one last time, bring your knees into your chest. Lift your chest towards your thighs, give yourself a big hug, and then completely let it go. Set up for your closing posture. If you're closing off in Shavasana, take your legs wide. And as you bring the arms down to the floor, lift your chest up and just slide the shoulder blades slightly underneath the back, and then relax down into the ground. Do some circles through your jaw. And then let the jaw relax. As you spend the last couple minutes of your practice here in stillness, be mindful of what's pulling at your attention, where the mind is going. This is still your time. So instead of getting lost in your to-do list or a story that you're creating, can you sit back and go behind the thought? You can witness it as it arises. Acknowledge it. But instead of holding on to it and gripping to it, can you let it go with your breath? Coming back into that quiet space between the thoughts. Staying here for as long as you need. Thank you so much for starting your day off with me. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Be humble, always be kind. Namaste.